Hello, this is Tom at the Tractor Rescue Ranch. I just wanted to talk a little bit about a comment that I got on this 8N Ford. This individual was very helpful on what he had told me. He said that it's kind of got the idea that it was common for the number 4 cylinder to have problems because the way it's all hooked up there with that exhaust manifold. Number 4 cylinder is the hottest cylinder, and so I got the idea that that was common for these 8N Fords to overheat in that cylinder and maybe have a breakdown of the head gasket and leak water into the cylinder. So I'm pretty certain that what he's saying, he's onto something there. I think that's probably what happened with this one, the way it looks. But anyway, I have been honing on those cylinders and they've come out really good. I think we'll be in really good shape as far as just putting things back together, all cleaned up. And then I also got a comment. The same individual pointed out to me that down here on the bottom of the cranks, they've got the pistons marked. I had pointed out earlier that I couldn't see any real marks, and so I marked the pistons on top in order to get them right in the back in the same place and in the correct orientation. But he pointed out to me that it's marked down here. Number 2 is marked on them, and that way you can put everything back together the same way it came apart after you've got it all cleaned up. There's no mistake in it. And the number 2 goes to the side where the manifolds are. So that's kind of a neat thing on that. The John Deere that I worked on already had them marked up here on the piston, had an arrow pointing to the front of the tractor, and so I wasn't aware that Ford had done this. Kind of cool. Okay, I've got this number 4 piston. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's got a little stain. I haven't cleaned it up yet at all. But those rings on it are all stuck down in the holes, in the slots there, as compared to these other pistons where the rings are free floating. Anyway, I've had this thing soaking. I'm hoping, I don't know how exactly to get them out of there because they are really easy to break. So I'm going to make an attempt to maybe work them loose a little bit, and if nothing else, if I can't get them loose and cleaned up, set of rings isn't going to be real expensive for it, so that'd be the direction I go if I can't. But I was just going to try this. How about that? I don't know if you can see that. It's got that one popped open already just from what I was doing there, so maybe I'll get lucky here. Well, tapping on it accomplished what I wanted, but I did break that first piston ring. So at this point, I think I'll just buy a new piston ring set, and probably just as well get a new piston for this one cylinder here while I'm at it. I think that'd be the best way to go. I was just going to see if I could get things cleaned up, and it's not going to work. So I need to get this unhooked from the connecting rod. So it's pretty simple. I'm sure everybody already knows this, but this is down in there. So you pull them out, and then all you got to do is just, I've already got it started there. Take and knock that pin out, and there your connecting rod comes loose. So now I'll be able to just put a new piston on there, and we'll be as good as new in that cylinder. Okay, this is number 1 piston. Boy, it cleaned up really nice. The bearing on it looks really good too. So you can see all of the rings on it are free and loose, cleaned up real nice. There's something you can do. I'm not going to do it because I'm not seeing very much wear, but if you pull these rings out and you can put them down in the sleeve without the piston there, and then you can take a measurement of the distance between the ends of those rings, and that'll tell you how much wear you've got on the rings. I'm not going to do that because nothing shows a lot of wear on this, and I don't want a chance breaking one of those rings by doing it. But you just put it down in the cylinder, and it's squeezed together on the ends, and then you just use a feeler gauge to go between them and see how much. And so all of your tractors would have a value of where that's supposed to be on it. So it's looking good here. Going to continue and get the rest of these pistons cleaned up except for number 4, and I'll replace number 4.